yet another Dexter related video. As in this particular video, I'm going to be ranking my top 35 favorite characters from any version of Dexter, and I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm actually going to tell you who all the characters are first. I'm going to put a photo up, stay on each photo for about 10 seconds, and then after you find out all 35 characters, then I'll give you some tidbits about each character. So if you don't want to hear me ramble on, you can just stop watching the video after you see all the pictures, or if you want to hear me go into details, you can watch the whole video. But before I do that, of course, a few things. If you're not caught up to the point where I am and you're watching Dexter or Dexter New Blood, which is every single episode of Dexter and Dexter New Blood, then I highly suggest that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And we are going to disagree. We all have different opinions on different characters of Dexter, so my list is probably not going to match yours. And I have some obscure characters on here that some of you may not know, so just be aware that we are going to disagree. And make sure you leave some sort of ranking down in the comment section, letting me know who your favorite characters of Dexter are. You don't have to go 35. That's what I'm doing. You can give me your top 5 or top 10 if you want to. And of course, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Well, I hope you enjoyed this format. Now, if you want to hear me ramble about my choices, continue watching the video. Let's talk about the characters. Number 35, Rita Bennett Morgan. Reason why she's so low, a lot of times I couldn't stand Rita's character. In season 4, it seemed like Rita got a lot better, but I don't think it made up for all the bitchiness and the Dexter. So Rita, of course, number 35. Number 34, Neil Perry, a character that was in season 1 and basically wanted people to think that he was the ice truck killer. I don't know, there's just something about Neil Perry that was intriguing and fascinating, so that's why I put him number 34. Number 33, Frances. That was the records lady after Camilla left, or died, I guess. And she really only talked to Deb most of the time, but she had flavor. She had just a certain... Her character was just entertaining, even though she didn't get a lot to do. And I figured I would include her on the list because there's other characters that had more time that annoyed me. But Frances didn't annoy me, but she doesn't get high on the list because of her lack of time on the show. Number 32, Harry Morgan. I don't necessarily really like Harry's character, but watching Dexter New Blood and dealing with Ghost Deb, Ghost Harry is a lot better than Ghost Deb. And Harry tried to help Dexter. He didn't try to haunt him. Number 31, Sergeant Logan. Logan could have been hashed out a lot more and made us even like him even more. But the time that we had with Logan was really good on Dexter New Blood. I wish there was some kind of twist with his character being related to potentially James Doakes. There wasn't, at least at the moment. But I enjoyed Logan, and obviously Harrison really liked him. He met him for, 2 or 3 weeks and then was really upset that he died. So that's why I chose him there. Number 30, Little Chino. He was a character at the beginning of Season 2 of Dexter. He was in 2 episodes, and he's not so little. And he was just a memorable villain because he was so big, and it's like, whoa, I'm going to need more plastic wrap. And, I don't know, Little Chino was awesome, and you don't want to fuck with him because he will fuck you up with a machete or have somebody else do it. Number 29, Zach Hamilton, a character that was in Season 8 of Dexter. I really like that character. I thought there was some good potential there, and they were going to go in that direction until we find out that Zach Hamilton has been killed, and it was disappointing, but I like this character. I like the actor. He shows up in a bunch of stuff that I watch, like Fear the Walking Dead and The Following. So he's memorable because he was in more episodes than just 1 or 2. It's like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. I don't know how many exactly, but he was certainly intriguing, and they added more to his character when he found out that he's actually a patient of Dr. Vogel's. 29, Miguel Prado. I used to not like Miguel a lot, but rewatching the show, he was alright. He was the first person that killed somebody with Dexter and knew about Dexter's dark passenger and actually saw Dexter in the act. He didn't see what Dexter would do afterwards to dispose of the body, but Miguel was good, and that's why I put him at number 28. Number 27, Camilla. We didn't get a lot of time with her. It's unfortunate that she had to go like Jean did, but Dexter took care of her. Even though, obviously, she doesn't meet the code, she asked Dexter to take care of her because she didn't want to be in pain and suffering anymore, because it wasn't going to be quick. It was going to be a long process where she'd still be alive and deal with the pain, and she wanted to go see Jean. All she wanted with the piece of pie, and that was good enough for her, so that's why Camilla was my number 27. 26, Evelyn Vogel. I really liked Evelyn Vogel's character. I know there's a lot of people that don't like the season and don't like her character. It added so much more to the show. Okay, we thought that Harry was the one that was only behind the code, but it kind of makes sense that they added somebody else to kind of a mother-like figure for Dexter to look up to, and she was really good. I wish they would have kept her alive, at least until the finale of the series. Well, the original finale of the series. But liked Evelyn Vogel. I thought her death was really traumatic, especially for Dexter and Deb to deal with, and that's why she's my number 26. My number 25, Astor. I didn't put Cody on the list because Cody really didn't have any standout episodes. That one episode that he was doing the play that he wanted Dexter to come to, that was okay for Cody. But Astor was really good. She started out good. Then she became a brat, and a really big brat, by the way. But then the episode in season 5, where she comes back with her friend that was getting abused by her stepdad, was a really good spotlight episode for Astor, so that's why I put Astor on the list. Number 24, Sal Price. Really like Sal Price after this most recent rewatch. He's only in a couple episodes, but he's damn memorable. But, you know, he's awesome with his pen chewing, too. Very interesting that he did that so Hannah poisoned the pen. And I don't know, he just... I think we could have got a lot more from him. I wish we would have, but when they introduce characters that I like, they tend to kill them off just to upset me. So that's why Sal Price is on there. 23, Ray Spetizer. He's in a couple episodes. One of the most badass villains on Dexter with the whole chase somebody with the big... I'm drawing a blank at what it's called. That mask that he has. And he's a badass and he's strong as hell. And he keeps his strength up by boxing and all that. And he was just memorable. And Deb was okay eventually with him meeting Dexter's, well, I should say him being on Dexter's table. But it wasn't really the table. It's made more of putting you in, incinerating you, and then putting all of his blood sides in there with Ray Spetizer as well. Definitely a memorable character in season 7 of Dexter. And it kind of made Deb go, you know, what you do isn't that bad. It's bad, but it isn't that bad. So that's why him being so memorable made him make the list. 22, Jamie Batista. I wish Jamie would have had a lot more to do. She was just there basically to say, okay, Harrison's being watched by Jamie. That's why Dexter can go do the things that he does. But she was good. I wish her relationship with Joey Quinn would have been a little bit better for her, because it didn't really work out in the end because all Joey really cared about was Deb. But Jamie was pretty good. I think the stuff with Louis Green was actually really good with Jamie. Interesting stuff, to say the least. So that's why Jamie makes the list. Number 21, we have Lumen Pierce, played by Julia Stiles. Very good character on Dexter, and I would say underrated character on Dexter. Really liked how she bonded with Dexter, wanting to kill all the members of Jordan Chase's clique. Really good stuff there. Her wanting to kill Cole Hauser and her wanting to kill Jordan Chase was really good. I wish Deb would have caught them at the end and didn't let them go, but the whole season set up Deb to understand that they're vigilantes because she was one of the victims that got away. So that's why Lumen Pierce makes the list. Number 20, Tom Matthews. Tom Matthews is really good. Some people don't like Tom Matthews, but he plays his part well. I'll go on record stating that I think he knew that Dexter was the Babe Harbor Butcher all along. With Harry and Tom Matthews being like best buds, he had to know something. Harry had to tell Tom, like, my son likes to kill animals or something like that. Tom Matthews is not an idiot. He had to put something together. Who knows if he really did, but it makes me think that he did know stuff about what Dexter was, or maybe not specific details, but knew more information than he let on. 19, Kurt Caldwell in Dexter New Blood. I think he was a decent villain. The episode where his son, Matt Caldwell, dies, my dad, he made Dexter think that Kurt Caldwell is this ruthless asshole, when he's a killer, but he's a nice guy until he wants to kill somebody, but it's usually females, and he puts them in his little hotel cabin and then has them run away so he can shoot them from behind. But Kurt Caldwell, good guy, good for the town, other than the fact that he's been killing people for at least 25 years, and Angela Bishop can't figure that shit out, but yet she can Google search everything else. So that's why Kurt Caldwell's my number 19. Number 18, Brother Sam. What a memorable character in season 6 of Dexter. He was really good. Dexter was going to put him on his table, but then he looked into him and he realized that Brother Sam is actually a decent guy now. He's turned the corner. He's into religion now, and just a great character. It's unfortunate that he died in such a stupid way, but he was definitely memorable. For a season that I hate of Dexter, Brother Sam is definitely a character that I have to include. Number 17, Zoey Kruger. One of my favorite episodes of Dexter. Top 5 for sure. She's a killer. She killed her husband and child and I don't remember why. I don't remember the exact reasons now, but she was like so vicious and like so like challenging Dexter with, when he was in the house pretending to like want to buy the house, and then her seeing him in the bathroom and just pulling him over and threatening him. Just a lot of good stuff. And then their altercation at Rita and Dexter's place, and then Zoey Kruger being on Dexter's table. And it was just a badass character for a random killer in an episode that Dexter disposes of. Number 16, Stan Liddy. What an awesome, just despicable human being that does anything he can to benefit himself. And he was just a memorable character played by, RoboCop Peter Weller. Really good. He actually caught Dexter and had Dexter asleep in his van, but Dexter woke up and eventually disposed of Stan Liddy. But he was really good. I enjoyed his character in season 5 of Dexter. I wish we would have had more time with him. In my opinion, he's a bigger villain than Jordan Chase is, to a degree. So that's why Stan Liddy came in at number 16. Number 15, the great Detective Michgel Soderquist. The guy's in almost every episode of Dexter. We don't hear him talk, but he's always in the background. He's always on time for briefings and meetings. He's never late. He's always there. Even when Batista gives him dumb orders, Ramos, Soderquist, go do this, he obeys. He should have applied for the sergeant position or potentially lieutenant at some point, because I think he would have made a hell of a lieutenant or sergeant. And I wish we would have saw him in Dexter New Blood somehow, some way. That would have been pretty awesome. But Soderquist is my number 15. Number 14, Brian Moser, a character that was in season 1 and had sporadic appearances after that. Rudy Cooper, and now we find out that he's Dexter's brother, Brian Moser. He was just great. Evil in a very ruthless killer that had a certain way of killing his victims that made it look perfect, like he never made a mistake. And I just really liked Brian Moser. And I guess I undervalued season 1 and his character until this most recent rewatch, but he's definitely memorable, especially with his ties to Dexter, and that's why he certainly comes in at number 14 on the list. Number 13, people would have this character higher. I just think he wasn't very smart, and that's Angel Batista. A great character, a part of Miami Metro Homicide for every season of Dexter, even Dexter New Blood for his a couple of appearances that he made. But he doesn't get higher on the list because he really didn't do anything. Other people figured stuff out. I don't think he was that great of a detective, although I must say in season 1, I guess Batista in the hospital, he did find out about Brian Moser. Or check different records. So that's the one good thing he did, I guess. And he was a good guy. He just didn't accomplish much, even though he advanced in Miami Metro. So that's why Angel Batista is my number 13. My number 12 is Mike Anderson from season 6 and 1 episode of season 7. I really wish that Mike Anderson would have stayed on the show a lot longer. I think ultimately he would have been the one that found out what Dexter was. He might have paid the price for finding that out, but I think if he would have stayed on the show longer, he definitely would have been the one that found out what Dexter was, because he was a very intelligent guy, and he knew a lot about everything. Not just a little about everything, he knew a lot about everything, and I really liked him as a character. It's unfortunate that he was just kind of disposed of really quickly in the season 7 premiere, but really liked his character, and it was sad to see him go. Number 11, Joseph Quinn, aka Joey Quinn. He was a very good, member of Miami Metro. Sometimes he had issues with certain things that led him that affected his job and the things that he did, but he was just a really good character, and he got on to Dexter pretty quickly about there's something off with this guy. Doakes still number 1 in terms of figuring shit out about Dexter, but I think Joseph Quinn, or Joey, whatever you want to call him, Quinn was not far behind on figuring shit out, but just little things would happen where Quinn would get off his trail. Like when Dexter, fudged the blood that was on his shoe, was it shoe or boot, of Stan Liddy's, that made Quinn not be arrested anymore. So Quinn, definitely on the list, number 11. Most people would say him and Batista should be in the top 10. It's a fair point. Christine Hill, my number 10. I really like her character. We find out that she's Arthur Mitchell's older daughter, the Trinity killer. She's the one that killed Frank Lundy and shot Deb. I think her character had a really good arc from beginning to end in season 4, with her ultimately succumbing to committing suicide because, she doesn't want to go to jail. She doesn't want to do this. She just feels regret. Her father ended up not caring about her in the end. And she was just a really good character. And it was nice to look at her, too. It's always great when they want to show TNA on Dexter. And we got a lot of Christine Hill on that. So that's why she's my number 10. Most people probably wouldn't even have her on their top 35. But I certainly did. Number 9, Vince Masuka. Gotta love Masuka. He was so great. The story at the end with his daughter was a little stupid, but really like Masuka, especially the part in season 4 where Deb's in his office or his lab, and she lifts her shirt up and takes her, and he's like, and Deb's like, they're just tits, Masuka, but they're yours. That was freaking hilarious. I fucking love that. And just little moments throughout the show with Masuka. It's really unfortunate that we didn't get him in Dexter New Blood. Some sort of appearance by Masuka would have been great. We did get an Easter egg of him sending an email to Batista when he finds out that Dexter is alive. But that's all we got. There's just so many moments with Masuka that stand out. So he's an awesome character, and he definitely deserves to be in my number 9. Some people would probably put him in the top 5. You have a valid point. Number 8, Issak Sirko. One of the best villains on Dexter, but he's not really a villain. He sort of is at first, but then he turns out to be like an ally of Dexter, and him and Dexter could have easily gotten along. Just a suave individual, part of the Koshka Brotherhood, coming back to the States to get revenge for his boyfriend's disappearance/death. Just a great character. Loved Issak Sirko, especially when he goes into that the Hispanic bar and fucks all them characters up, or all them they're characters in there up, and then he goes to jail for that. He was just so memorable and so good and so underrated for some people. When you talk about villains on Dexter for just casual Dexter fans, I bet 50% of them can't remember Issak Sirko's name. I certainly do, and that's why he's my number 8. Number 7, Lila. She added so much in season 2 of Dexter. I'm not happy that she caused James Doakes to die. That's another story. But she was just so interesting, and she accepted Dexter for what he was, and she actually helped Dexter. She helped Dexter deal with some of his problems and gave Dexter good advice. The whole ending of season 2, though, is kind of dumb, of her wanting to light Astor and Cody on fire in her studio apartment. That was dumb, in my opinion, but everything before that was really, really good. And, of course, Rita, seeing her, and Rita being very jealous. So Lila definitely makes my list as my number 7. Went with Arthur Mitchell, the Trinity Killer, for my number 6. I mean, he's, in my opinion, in most opinion, the best villain on Dexter, although there are a few of you out there that don't rank him number 1, but he's just awesome. He's this family man that does a lot with his church, has these 4 walls and a roof builds, but his other job is a serial killer, and he kills in, we thought 3s, but it turns out in 4s, as he kills a young boy and calls them Arthur to start his cycle, and then we have him pushing a woman to her death, and then we have him bludgeoning somebody, and then he kills a woman in the bathtub to end his cycle. He's just a sadistic fuck. Very intriguing character, though, and played brilliantly by the great John Lithgow. Glad he won an Emmy for that portrayal of Arthur Mitchell, the Trinity Killer. Well deserved, and I wish we would have had more time with Arthur Mitchell to kind of learn more about him or have him on the show more, because that was when Dexter was at its peak. And then him killing Rita, easily the most impactful death on the show because of how it affected Dexter. I can go on and on. I'm trying to keep the video a little bit short, so that's why Arthur Mitchell is very high on my list. I'm sure he's on most of your lists very high. Number 5, Frank Lundy. Frank Lundy should have had a bigger role on this show, and you thought he was going to. He was this hotshot FBI agent that would track down serial killers, and he did track down Arthur Mitchell. When Trinity bumped into him, he kind of looked at him like, white male, 6'4". He knew. He was just a brilliant guy. I think Lundy made Deb's character more intriguing. I liked Deb. That's the first time I started liking Deb. It's when she fell for Special Agent Grandpa, as some people called him. But he was a great character. We lost him for a season, and then he came back only to die because of Christine Hill trying to look out for her psychopath father. But Lundy was definitely memorable. Really enjoyed his character and the time that we had with him, especially the part where Dexter's brought to Miami Metro, and you've got Lundy sitting at his desk with Matthew standing there and all the blood slides are on his table. That was intense stuff, but Lundy was good. Very smart character. It sucks that he died, but he's definitely one of my favorites, and that's why he's my number 5. My number 4 is a character who at one point probably wouldn't make my top 20, but the last couple rewatches of this show, I've grown a liking to this character. It might be because I met her, Jennifer Carpenter, but obviously Debra Morgan, Deb, my number 4. She's so good after season 1. I didn't really like her in season 1. I don't know what it was about season 1, but there's moments where she's dumb. There's dumb moments where she swears a bunch of times in a row just to swear a lot. Like in the elevator, that part where she's in the elevator when LaGuerta's investigating. I think it's right after LaGuerta asked her why she was at the gas pump next to the church, filling up a gas can. But she was so good. Such a good character. Now, Dexter Newblood's another story. I did not like her in Dexter Newblood as Ghost Deb. I think we should have got Harry back in that, preferably. Or even Rita. Why don't you bring Rita back for that? That would have been a lot more interesting, because Deb was, I don't know, why kill her off if you're just going to bring her back? I know Clyde Phillips didn't make that decision. And then a lot of people complain about the original Dexter Eddie. Now, obviously my opinion has changed because we got another season of Dexter, but, you know, Dexter is a story of tragedy. So Deb dying in the finale of Dexter, the original Dexter finale, it fit. It made sense to me. I know people didn't like it because they liked Deb as a character, and I initially didn't at first, but it's touching. It's sad, but this is Dexter's life. He's not going to get caught because he follows the code, but he's going to lose everyone around him, or they're going to go far away. So that was very, very good stuff. And, you know, her relationship with Lundy, which I just mentioned, I really liked that stuff. I really liked her in season 7. Like, she figured out that not only is Dexter a killer after season 6, but he's the Bay Harbor Butcher, and she found his kill tools and his blood slides and had him sitting right there. Are you? Yes, I am, or whatever Dexter says. But she's awesome. She tries to kill Dexter in season 8. Yeah, season 8, it wasn't the best at times, but it had good moments. But all in all, Deb, definitely one of my favorites now. And, you know, Jennifer Carpenter was really nice when I met her, and that's why she is my number 4. Number 3, Hannah McKay. Love Hannah. Love the actress, Yvonne Strahovski. Really liked Hannah as a character. We hear about her through her ex, and he rants and raves about her. But then we meet Hannah. We know that she's a killer because she has trophies. And Dexter has Hannah on his table. He's going to kill Hannah. And Hannah says, do what you got to do. Like, not a worry in the world. Like, you know what? Whatever. Do what you got to do. So Dexter lets her go, and they start making love. And that was a relationship that should have kept going. Then we get Dexter New Blood. They bring Dexter back, and they kill Hannah off. We find that out in episode 2, Storm of Fuck, which really pisses me off. I think there's a version of Dexter we can make out there where Hannah's still alive, and it would be very entertaining. At least to start, she's still alive. But I really like Hannah as a character. I thought she was really good. Just all the scenes with Hannah made the episodes a lot better. I'm not just saying that. I really liked Hannah as a character, where Rita, I didn't like Rita. Most of the time I would roll my eyes at things that Rita does. That's why I have Hannah ranked so high. But Hannah actually went down one spot. My number 2, of course, was James Doakes. Fucking love Doakes. Man, they really missed an opportunity because they killed him off in season 2. Doakes could have been they had what they were gonna do right there. They already talked about it. Dexter was gonna let him go and just plant as much evidence as he could to frame Doakes as the Bay Harbor Butcher. They had it right there. And they didn't. They end up killing Doakes off because Lila, does what she does. But man, Doakes was such a great character. And the stuff he'd say to Dexter, like, getting a hard on over there, Morgan. Something wrong about you. It's fucking hilarious. Surprise, motherfucker. The meme, the gif. Doakes is amazing. I really, really like Doakes. I know my friend, one of my best friends, absolutely hates Doakes. I can't figure out really why, because Doakes, I think, is one of the best characters of a TV show, not just of Dexter, but I mean, obviously there's a lot of characters I've seen over the years, but if I had to make a top 50 favorite television characters ranking, I think Doakes might make the list. I don't know for sure. Obviously, other characters from Dexter would too, but Doakes is amazing, and that's why he was my number 2. We already knew Dexter was going to be my number 1. Dexter's such a great character. Really like his character. A character that, to feed his, I guess, let me rephrase that. Because he was traumatized as a child, he has to do things to keep an everyday living. So he has to kill people. So we have Harry, and we find out later, Evelyn Vogel, that made this code that he has to follow to kill people that were guilty, but that somehow, some way got off, either by the system or by bad blood work or bad police work or whatnot. But it's just such a good concept for a television series. And then we grow to really like Dexter, even though he's definitely a serial killer, but he's just so good. I really like his character, the dark passenger monologues, and the stuff that he says, the sarcasm that he uses, and it's so good. Dexter's so good as a character. We get Dexter New Blood, and the end of Dexter and Dexter New Blood isn't the best. I'm not happy about that. I mean, it's a conclusion at least, but he was never pronounced dead, so there's that. But really like Dexter, really enjoyed his character, and I hope at some point, somehow, some way, we do get more Dexter, because I think there's more you can do with it. I mean, it's already proven Dexter is a big hit, so let's do it right. Let's do it right. We don't have to cancel it after one season. We can have multiple seasons to spread stuff out. I'm going to do my own Dexter ending. I'm going to think of some ideas and put it to a video and let me know what you think. So that obviously is the list. I hope you enjoyed this format of giving you the characters first and then going into details about them. Although I didn't talk as much as you'd think I would. So the video for 35 characters is going to be relatively short. I did do a couple of stops during this because my throat got really dry at one point. After Lila, I could barely talk. So there's a cut in between Lila and Arthur Mitchell, the Trinity killer. So let me know what you think. Obviously, like I said, I want to hear about your favorite characters of Dexter. I know 35 is a lot. So if you want to break that down to, 25, 20, top 10, top 5. Well, top 5 doesn't really give me much. I want to get at least a top 10 from everybody and try to include obscure characters like the great Michgel Soderquist, the best detective on Miami Metro that nobody knows about. And, Mike Anderson and Zoey Kruger and Ray Speltzer, one of the best villains on Dexter that's not a season villain, just a couple episodes. Of course, there's Sal Price, there's Logan, there's Rita, there's Neil Perry. Let me know what your favorite characters are of Dexter. Make sure you Hulk smash that like button. Share this video with any Dexter's fans you know, and put this video on any one of your social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, MySpace. Email it to people, whatever you got to do. Comment with your thoughts, like I said. Anything you want to leave in the comment section. If there's more Dexter videos that you specifically want me to do, leave that in the comment section. And of course, last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.